As a channel that focuses on attempting to help explain these strange and unsolved mysteries of our time, there are many different occasions where we encounter stories and claims that, though they may be true with overwhelming supporting evidence, will never be able to be fully explained and solved regardless of efforts made. This could be due to the fact that many of these cases are tremendously old, evidence had been destroyed, or there are ongoing efforts being made to cover up the answers. Whichever way you take it, these mysteries will likely never be solved. So today, we will be discussing these mysteries and the reasons for why an answer has eluded us all these years. The Lost City of Atlantis. One of the most well-known mysteries of the ancient world was the sudden disappearance of the city of Atlantis. Though many might assume the lone island nation to have been nothing more than a tale of both myth and legend in an attempt to teach philosophy through allegorical means, that is far from the case. Many popular historians of the time recounted that details and advances made by the ancient city. One most notably was Plato himself. Plato spoke on end about the ideal state of the Atlantean people and their nation. The tremendous levels of advancement made in warfare, technology, and ethics, so much so that many people believed Plato to have made up the small island city in an attempt to provide a lecture on how human beings should treat one another and how a state should be run, believing the entire story to be fictitious. Even in the modern day, this belief is still held by most scholars who refuse to acknowledge the incredible early advancements made by a state that focused on education and philosophy. According to one of Plato's students, when Plato would find himself being confronted by other scholars and historians who claimed the Atlantean city did not at any time exist and that the story was interpreted as being fictitious, Plato would argue on end that the island nation truly did exist, and even sought proof and record of the city to honour his word. In fact, the student of whom would overhear these conversations would later go on to complete his teacher's goals and try to gather substantial evidence to the island having once existed by recounting Egyptian records and the real-world battle between the Egyptians and the Atlanteans. So though there is a tremendous amount of evidence of the lost city of Atlantis in regard to the historical record, there are many who believe that the island does not exist and has never existed in the first place. This has led many researchers and experts on a wild goose chase to uncover artifacts created by the Atlanteans or even the lost city itself. But as the title of the video suggests, this endeavour might be entirely fruitless. The claims of the Atlantean city, outside of historical reference, would require physical evidence of the city to be gathered, something that may very well be impossible to accomplish. Plato gave record that the island nation was obsessed with isolation and maintaining the secrets of its vast wealth and technologies, and so this rules out the discovery of artifacts via trade, as all created materials by the Atlanteans would have most likely never even left the island. The second reason for the impossibility of proof is the fact that islands have disappeared via natural means in the past, either by earthquakes, tectonic events, or even by erosion. Plato claimed that the island nation was defeated by massive tragic events that not only wiped out the Atlantean people, but all of its structures and wealth as well. This could very well mean that nothing survived of this event and the island could have been swallowed up by the ocean and then subsequently movement of the tectonic plates, completely destroying any sign of life on the island location. The YouTube channel Unfavourable Semicircle. Definitely one of the strangest phenomena to ever hit the YouTube platform was the creation of the YouTube channel known as Unfavourable Semicircle. The channel first went live on March 30th of 2015 and began posting a video once every minute that dramatically varied in length, ranging from merely a few seconds long to some that were more than 11 hours in length. During the duration of the channel being active, tens of thousands of videos were posted before YouTube terminated the channel and brought the whole charade to an end. The strangest part about this channel was not the frequency or length of the uploaded videos, but rather what the videos contained. The videos themselves featured abstract images and designs while being either completely silent or containing distorted voices and strange sounds, leading many to believe that the channel could have been using some form of encrypted communications or sharing of sensitive information. This has led many people to gather together in an effort to decrypt these videos and possible secret messages on an archived website that contains a still fairly active research group looking into the matter. Unfortunately, as they have mentioned, the mystery might never be solved. After the termination of the channel made by YouTube, the lack of any new videos make it nearly impossible to understand what the purpose of the channel could have originally been. And although the videos themselves have been archived for future reference, the secrets and codes within them may forever be uncrackable, as no key cipher or encryption password can be found. The medical case of Shayna Ison. One of the strangest medical cases that has occurred in the modern age has been the case of Shayna Ison. Back in 2009, Shayna Ison was rushed to an emergency room after she experienced a terrible asthma attack out of the blue. After receiving the necessary treatment, she was then immediately sent home to recover. After she began to recover, she noticed a deep itchiness that formed all around her body that felt as if it was coming up from under her skin. It did not take much longer before one morning Shayna Ison woke up to notice that her legs had turned completely black. She immediately went back to the same hospital that treated her, but found her condition to worsen. Before long, it was realised that Miss Ison's body went through a bizarre change and began growing fingernails out of every single follicle on her body. As bizarre as this condition may be, scientists have made absolutely no advancements into understanding her strange condition, the triggers for it, or anything relevant to the medical case in the slightest. Not only is treatment for the condition nearly completely impossible, but the pain caused by the condition, as well as the scabs and sores that have formed due to the rough texture of growing fingernails, have led Shayna Ison to live a pained life crippled by her condition and a massive amount of debt as she cannot afford the medication to keep herself alive. To this day, she desperately seeks help and is analysed by top scientists and researchers around the world, but still nothing can be found and no cause for the disease has been understood. The Dyatlov Pass incident. Back in 1959, while the Soviet Union was still hidden behind the Iron Curtain that blocked all information from effectively getting out into the media or even the rest of the world, a strange incident had occurred that still inspires fear and curiosity in the modern day. Known as the Dyatlov Pass incident, 9 ski hikers went up to the northern Ural Mountains between the 1st and 2nd of February in the hopes of conquering the area that was feared by the locals due to superstitions and strange rumours, by proving the location to not be dangerous in order to help pave the way for new hikers to visit the area and enjoy the scenic beauty of the region. Unfortunately, this decision would lead to the death of the 9 highly trained and experienced hikers and would solidify the superstitions of the area. On the 26th of February, a rescue team had discovered the group's abandoned and badly damaged tent that had been established on the slopes of Kalat Syakhl, the nearby mountain in the region. The sight seemed perplexing, as it became apparent that the tent was cut open from the inside, as if the group had begun panicking and cut through the tent in an effort to get away from something that was attacking them. The bodies of each of the individuals in the group were found in a nearby ravine after following their tracks in the snow, which only led to more mysteries as the majority of the bodies recovered were dressed only in their underwear, as if they ran out into the darkness of the snow without first getting dressed and then presumably froze to death. As the investigation continued and the bodies of the deceased were put under examination, the theory of hypothermia soon came into question. Medical examiners discovered that each person suffered from internal injuries commonly seen in a car crash or after a massive amount of pressure and force comes into striking contact of a person. This led many to believe that perhaps the individuals were attacked by a non-human entity capable of causing such terrible force and leading to their deaths. Unfortunately, this theory, and others like it, can never be confirmed nor denied. The bodies are well past their point of providing any reliable information regarding the incident, and the weathering of the seasons has changed the landscape beyond the point of recognition. It appears that even visiting the site in which the group had suffered the ill fate fails to yield any interesting results or possible causes of the trauma. Though some might believe the Russian Yeti to have caused such injuries and ultimately the demise of the hikers, until evidence is gathered of such a creature, the Dyatlov incident will continue to be an event shrouded in mystery. But what do you think of these strange mysteries? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.